Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. How super is the Super Conqueror? How good is it, or how bad is it? Today we're going to play a few games, or we're going to at least play one game and watch a very good replay in this tank. Is it a super conqueror, or is it just a super conqueror? Now, over time, you're like, I always loved the Chieftain Mark 6. Always loved the Chieftain Mark 6, and I still do. But then you get playing the Conqueror, and in fact, you know, sometimes it's you play the Conqueror or the Super Conqueror, and you're like, you know what? I really like this tank. And other times, you don't perform as well. I love the armor profile. I love the turret on the tank. It is very strong. And yeah, it's very hard to penetrate. So yeah, in that sense, if you play it correctly, it is definitely the Super Conk. But you play it on flat ground and stuff like that, you're not going to perform as well. So if you can get yourself on a ridgeline, do get yourself on a ridgeline, because you will be able to bounce a lot of shots on that turret. As long as you don't give them time to aim at weak points, you know, it does have weak points and people can penetrate them weak points. Just don't make it easy. I definitely think it is a tank worth having in your garage. You get what you pay for, to be fair. Usually it does come for around the 20k gold mark. So if you do have a spare 20,000 gold, it definitely is worth purchasing when it comes in the store. So the turret armor on the thing is 280 millimeters. So yeah, very good turret. The hull, however, is 155. So not great on the hull armor. Now the DPM 2,733. We are running this with calibrated shells, so we do lose a little bit of penetration there. But yeah, I prefer the penetration, because it does have HE, and you can get this up to 94 HE pen, which I think is pretty decent for a heavy tank. Your your penetration, 265 on your AP, 336 on your APCR, and 94 on your HE. You've got a 400 alpha gun, 340 on your APCR. So again, if you are having to use that APCR, 340, and you can even get lower than that, to be fair, sort of like the 300 to the 310. So yeah, if you do low roll, it does kind of suck. But of course you do want to guarantee your pen. I'd rather do 300 than bounce my shot, so not too bad. Your HE is 515. So again, if you can get that HE out, make sure you do get that out, because 515 is a bit different than the 300, like a massive difference. So do try the HE rounds. Aim time 3.5, not too special, and the gun dispersion 0.353. Again, not that special, and it does have 10 degrees of gun depression to go with that really good turret armor. Top speed is 36 kilometers per hour as well. So it's not quick, but it's not slow either. So let's get into a couple of games with the tank, and then you can make up your own mind and then decide whether you want to get it or not. So we have two games. Obviously one is better than the other, and the one that is better than the other is actually not me. So this is me. I wanted to show this game. It's nothing special nothing special at all, but I do try and get it in a position that can do really well. But again, like any position, all depends on where the enemy are. Of course, if you can put this on a ridge but there's no enemy in front of you, it's not going to perform really well. And that's what I wanted to show you. Positions that if you're not in, you may suffer. So we are on a ridgeline, of course, but sometimes you have to over angle, and you can see already we did get shot from the Sheridan at the start, because we was in the open. He had a free shot on us, and he penetrated us no problem whatsoever. So it definitely is a ridgeline tank. If you don't get yourself on a ridgeline, you will suffer and you will be penetrated. So do bear that in mind. It's definitely a ridgeline tank. So do try to get on a ridgeline if you can. Of course, we're going to focus on an AFK. He's not going to be AFK for long, but while he's sitting there, then I might as well go for him. And sometimes I do say, if that's the only target you've got, like, don't always ignore the AFK, because look, this guy comes alive, and as he comes alive, he's a one-shot. So actually, it done us well, because already there's only three tanks left. A minute and a half gone, and there is just 3 tanks left alive. So this is where we're going to push forward, and we're going to get out of that ridgeline position, and then we're going to get wrecked. So we've managed to farm up 3,000 damage already. So, you know, yes, okay, it was an AFK for a little while, but you can see if you're not on a ridgeline, even the Sheridan can just absolutely tear us apart. And I'm ignoring him at the moment because I want to go for the 60 TP here. But me ignoring him, I mean, I could have just probably sat back and tried to kill him, but no problem for these guys. And I'm a one shot and he kills me. No, I didn't bounce a single thing. I did, however, finish an almost 4k damage in 2 minutes. So, you know, the DPM is pretty decent on the tank, and it can still perform really, really well. But this is the kind of replay that you want. This is the kind of battle that you want. So, of course, he's going to go to the left side of the map. Now, this map, sometimes you have a team that goes on the right side. Sometimes you have a team that go on the left side. More heavies go the right side because it just takes too long to get up this side of the map. But again, all depends on the kind of tank that you have. So if you were in, say, like a VK90 and your team go down, then yeah, it probably is worth going down with your team, because at least you can side scrape, you can angle. But if you are in a tank like the Super Conqueror that has that can not side scrape, but that can go hold down, then up here is probably the best, because you can get on these dunes, you can get on these little hills, and you can go hold down, and you can use that 10 degrees of gun depression, and it'll be very hard for the enemy to be able to penetrate. So, and you can see he's trying to do that. He's trying to use these little hills. There's not many. I mean, there's 4 people up here. Luckily, there's not too many heavies or not too many tanks up this side of the map. And you're going to see that quite a bit on this map, to be fair. Not all the time, all the tanks will come one way. Normally you will see a split, see a sort of divide, and that's exactly what you've seen. Not just with one team, but with both teams. Just look at the mini-map. Half the team is up here, half the team is down the bottom. So as you can see, he's getting penetrated from the Centurion, because he's on flat ground for that Centurion. He's not in a hold down position, he's on flat ground, so it's quite easy for this Centurion 7-1 to penetrate. So again, you have to put the tank in its favoured position, and that is on a ridge. If you are on flat ground, do prepare to be penetrated. And yeah, you might get the odd bounce, the troll bounce, but you can't rely on the whole armor. But you can rely on that very, very strong turret of this tank. So yeah, it's a very good tank, and I do think it is a super conk when you put it in the right position. But you put it in the wrong position, then of course it's not going to perform as well as it should. So now it is a 2 versus 4. 2 versus 4. Our Super Conk don't have many hit points, neither does the Progetto. So this is going to be very hard if he's going to want to win this game. So far, he's done almost 3,000 damage, but again, with 4 tanks left alive, it's going to be difficult. And honestly, it doesn't look like they can get the job done. But they're going to stay on high ground at the minute, because again, that is the best position. Stay on high ground. But the enemy, you know, they don't care. They're just going to sit there and cap the base. Like, you know, if you're not going to come down, you're going to eventually lose the game on cap points. So right decision. But unfortunately, here comes the E100. Luckily, he doesn't look at the Super Conqueror. He looks at the Progetto. So he does take a shot. And if they work together, you can see they can clear this E100 very, very quickly. And with the tank that's coming up behind, he's decided to move around and pretty much hide from that guy. Use the E100 as a bit of cover, and even though he's now dead, he can still use him as cover. So you can see there, I'm glad there is the Super Conk, because you can see the armor profile. The upper plate, yeah, is very, very strong. Look at that. Just look at the turret. Lower plate, very, very weak. So this is why I'm saying hide that lower plate, get on a ridgeline, hide the lower plate, because it is super weak. But the turret, very strong. The upper plate, very, very strong, as you could see from the enemy Super Conqueror. So yeah, it's a fantastic tank when in the right hands. It really, really is. So just 2 tanks left alive now. This IS-7 He took a shot there, got left on 1 HP, which is RNG at its finest, but that at least allows him to get another shot off and just leaving the Tortoise left alive. Now, the Tortoise at this point just needs to fire HE. All he needs to do is fire HE anywhere on this tank, or pretty much anywhere on both tanks, and he is dead. But when you've got a Pidgeotto running around, especially 2 tanks that are in a platoon, these 2 guys really work well. Now, this Super Conqueror could easily go left, but no, he's doing the right thing. He has time, and he's going right. Now, there's a reason he's going right. The reason is the Pidgeotto's gone left. So having 1 tank go left, 1 tank go right is definitely the best thing to do, especially when it's only a Tortoise, because he hasn't got a turret. So definitely the right thing to do is having 1 tank in front and 1 tank behind, because at least the Pidgeotto there, as you can see, is taking the attention of the Tortoise. The Tortoise is trying to chase him, and if the Tortoise turns around to go for the Super Conqueror, then the Pidgeotto is going to then get behind him. So this kind of situation, there's really not much this Tortoise can do at all. So very, very nice victory in the end. Very nice victory. 7.5k damage. Didn't block much because he really didn't have the opportunity. But you could see from the enemy Super Conqueror, put it in the right situation, put it in the right positioning, and you can bounce on that turret for days. You just need to hide that lower plate because it is a very weak lower plate. So let me know your comments, let me know your views on the Super Conqueror in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.